The year 2020 presented global problems and challenges and also new opportunities to do things differently. A spike in adoption of ICT services and devices have been witnessed across all spectrums of life. But how has the network and service providers navigated this pandemic? Which service providers were able to give enough capacity to meet this increased demand, and which providers struggled? The Nigerian Communications Commission, as part of its mandate, successfully conducted its 2020 Voice of the People to ascertain the sentiments of telecom consumers during the pandemic, which occasioned a lockdown and disruption in services. The Voice of Consumers was conducted across 7 states in the country, namely Abuja, Enugu, Gombe, Kano, Kwara, Lagos, and Rivers State, touching across the key networks and service providers. Abuja.
Barimpa.
Life Camp Abuja. Gwagwarada Abuja.
Karo Abuja.
I stay in Kubwa, Abuja.
I'm using MTN on data. MTN, they are consuming money. Their data is somehow expensive, but the network is good. Weekly plan, but I exhaust it in 2 to 3 days. It's not up to. They write, okay, they used to write 1 week, but it finished before 3 days. No, I just ignore and buy another data. No?
No, not at all.
No. No, I do not.
I use Intel for my browsing for data, and I use MTN for voice plans. Data plan. I don't even know where to start from. I feel Intel have cheated me. Because, especially during the lockdown, because initially when they announced 2 weeks lockdown, I did a 1 month subscription so I can stay at home and enjoy my Netflix and the rest. I paid 17,500 and my Intel was not working. I kept calling and calling. It worked the first day. I said I was happy that yes, even if the lockdown stay for 1 month, I'll chill. I called them, they told me that so many people is using the network now, that's why it's not working. I was like, okay, why didn't you tell me before that you had so many customers? I would have not wasted my 17.5. Throughout that month, it was not working. It was so annoying that once I step outside my house, once I get to the gate, my Intel will work. Once I enter my compound, it will not work. So does it mean I'm going to be staying outside, not to browse? Yes, I called them. In fact, I sent emails. I was calling and calling. They didn't solve the problem. They just told me that everybody's at home using the internet. That's why it's not going fast. I've already bought now. Yes, I've left.
It's at the back of my mind, but I haven't yet. I haven't ported, but I'm considering it. Yeah. Okay, I use SpectraNet. No, not at all. I do not get value for my money. They answered my calls, but they didn't solve the problem. No, they didn't.
Oh yeah, I contacted them and they told me that too much people are on the network, so it will cause a jam or something like that. And that was the complaint they gave me. Oh no, I spend more time on data because data is basically why I went for Intel. It hasn't really been good because the network has been poor, and sometimes you don't get the exact network you want, the network connection you want, and then they came about this idea of making their plans a threshold plan. I don't know if you if you get what I'm talking about. Initially, it used to be unlimited throughout, but then they came up with this threshold plan, which you have to pay for 100 gig or something like that, with the same amount you pay for the unlimited. You know, the last time I experienced that, and that was when I stopped using Intel, because I went and then I paid for unlimited, but they didn't tell me it was now on threshold. So I went back home and I was comfortably using my network data, and then all of a sudden I received an email saying that I used 100% already. I had to call them and I confirmed, and they said they were on threshold. So it didn't really encourage me to go back to Intel. Glo, currently I use Glo for my data, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's just like a garbage in, garbage out. I pay for what I get. It's not like no more, no less. No more, no less.
I think they should work more on their customer service, make it more effective for their customers. and they should give us more value for our money.
For Intel, the service, what I have to tell them is that they should stop deceiving us, because it's very annoying that you pay 17,500, which equivalent to $50 as at that time, for internet, and you don't get the value. I could have as well used that money to buy food and be eating at home during the lockdown, but I wanted to browse and I didn't. The money just went away to the point that I've sold my modem. I don't use Intel anymore because it's not working. So if they can work on that, and the most annoying part is that they're increasing the money. They've even increased to 18.5. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, okay, let me do 1 week subscription and see if it will still work. But I don't do 1 month. I did 1 week. It still did not work. So now I've sold it. So if they can work on that service, and that will be very fine.
They should reduce the cost of data.
It's too expensive, the data plan. When I purchase 1.5 for monthly, then it will just do 4 days.
Enugu.
My name is Amici Wokocha. I live at Trans Ekulu. I use MTN. I spend more money on data. During this pandemic, it's been quite expensive. I don't know the name of the plan I use, but once I subscribe, I use it till it's exhausted. I'm subscribed to a monthly data plan. Oh yes, I get a great value for money spent on data. When my data finishes quickly, I don't know who I should call, so I just buy another data bundle and that settles it. During calls on MTN, when it's an MTN to an MTN call, it goes well. But once you call another network, there is usually a disruption in network fluency. I haven't called anyone to complain about it, or I haven't even visited an experience center. My advice is, when calling other networks other than MTN, like Glow, 9Mobile, there shouldn't be any disruption or glitch in the service. It should go as smoothly as when I call other MTN lines.
Independence layout. It's a lot. 9Mobile rather. Most times I use the monthly data plan. No, not at all, because before the end of the month, like 2 weeks into the end of the month, my data bundle is exhausted. So I wouldn't say that I enjoy 100% value for my money. Many times I could not get to the customer service rep. I just gave up. I didn't contact anybody, and I didn't know that there was a toll-free line to contact in the first place. A new data plan, please. The ones you have are quite expensive. Just something that people can manage during this whole COVID-19 pandemic to ease their call time budget.
MTN should reduce the cost of purchasing data because it's quite expensive. Not everybody can afford their plan. Also, Airtel should try and make sure people that are making use of their lines get connected wherever they find themselves.
They should explain sometimes when things are happening. Maybe there are network issues or they are going to face challenges in some areas. They should really explain to people to know so they don't get disappointed along the line.
For the MTN, I'll advise them to, make their call centers very easy to access. The queue usually used to be very, very long and it's so tiring and boring.
Gombe.
My name is Sarah David. I am from Harcourt local government of Gombe State. I use MTN and Airtel. I mostly make use of MTN for chatting. I chat normal, like always. I've never changed my line. I enjoy using MTN line and also Airtel, and I've had no reason to complain to customer care.
My name is Nathan Samuel from Gombe local government area of Gombe State. I use Airtel. I chat based on my school stuff. As such, I take classes online. Chatting is more conducive for me to communicate with my friends, both those that are close and far away. I hardly call because I am more comfortable with chatting than calling. I do not experience any challenges. I haven't contacted customer care.
Kano.
My name is Seun Ajala and I live in Kano and I use Tetranet. I spend more time on data. I do weekly. The experience has just been on an average level. Sometimes you enjoy it, sometimes you don't enjoy it. Just on an average level. I've had reasons actually, but it's kind of stressful for me. So I just still stick to it. I'm just using it that way. I've not really had time to. I've not thought about it actually to go to their office to complain. They should just improve more on providing better network and better services for customers. There's always room for improvement, no matter the level of the service they provide, and there's always a better way of providing it. So that's what I feel.
Ni sunana Alhaji Awalu, ina zaune a unguwar Sharaɗa. Hakikanin gaskiya ina amfani da layin
MTN and Etisalat network.
Ina amfani da Etisalat. To nakan samu problem ni da MTN.
I usually experience issues with MTN.
Kana sai network ya yanke.
You'll be on a call with someone and all of a sudden network will end the call, or when you try to make a call it says it is not available. That's my major issue with MTN, but with Etisalat I do not experience any issue with them. At times I want to charge my MTN and go out with my Etisalat because it's difficult for me to try making a call using MTN, but with my Etisalat line hardly do I hear it's not available. But with MTN, in the middle of a call, at times the receiver won't hear me and they will keep taking out my call credits. Sometimes, when I call customer care, they tell me that it's the network or probably as a result of rainfall. I do not usually go to their office. Notwithstanding, MTN is a good network, except for the non-reachable issue or network free flow while making phone calls. I have friends that hardly recharge their MTN line because of this same network issue. My advice is that they should try to rectify the issue of network problems associated with rainfall causes so that we can reach whoever we hope to call or talk to.
Kwara.
My name is Akunde Barakidi Sola. I live in Kwara State. I make use of MTN. Although I make calls, but I make use of data more. Sometimes I do not get value for my subscription because I subscribe weekly, but it lasts for barely 4 days and it gets exhausted. I felt bad, but there was nothing I could do about it. Even when my data gets exhausted, I call the customer service, but they do not rectify the solution, so I have no option than to get another data. My name is Raybani Salako. I reside in Kwara State. I make use of Airtel. Since the corona period, the service has been okay but has not been very steady. Whenever my data is exhausted, I have no option than to subscribe again. I hardly complain to my customer care, but even if I do, they do not give me a solution to my problem. My suggestion to Airtel is for them to make their plan very cheap as that of Glo.
500 megabytes for 25 naira.
Lagos.
I'm in Jai Housing Estate, Oba Ogunji Road, Agege, Lagos. I'm using Airtel. I spend more time on data. Well, not really, because I find that I have to be using what I'm supposed to use monthly. I have to use it twice. I have to get it twice, in a month. Of course, I'm not happy about it, but I know that I need it, so I have to subscribe again. I buy more because I need it too, even for my business. I need it. No, I don't. I just assume that because of the volume of things I'm doing, that's why my data has finished in time. So I don't call customer service to complain, except if maybe it's a 1 day or 2 day issue, and I know that there's something really wrong. Make the rates a bit lower, and then if you say you're going to use something for a month, let it actually be a month. I don't know how they're going to achieve that, but if there's a way that monthly data can actually be exhausted in a whole month, not 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's all I have.
My name is OJ, and this is Coach of Local Government of Jota, Lagos State. Well, I use SpectraNet network, and well, I've not been spending more than expected on my network. I've been spending the same thing I have been spending for a month, and the network has been awesome. Well, I do monthly data plan, which works better for me, and I get value for my money. I get value for my money because the network is always awesome for me to use at any time and any day. It has never disappointed me. When it finishes, what do? I just resubscribe. I call my service providers when I have issues with my network, and when I call them, they always find a way of resolving it. And most of the time, if my network finishes early and I call them, what they do is that they go through my usage history. They go through the history and I use my data, and they will tell me this was how you use your data. And I've never been tempted to switch to other network because Spectranet has really been very good to me, and it's been serving me. The suggestion I have for my network provider, Spectranet, is they should please reduce the monthly subscription payment. 10,000 plus is a lot. It's really a lot for me. They should just reduce the cost of subscription, and I think I'm okay with every other thing.
Rivers.
I reside in Duke, precisely. My two. I use both Airtel and Glo. This global pandemic, man, it has not been good. I swear, it has not been good. Airtel and Glo, they have not been good. Imagine where they'll tell you to subscribe data, you subscribe, then they'll take the network. When you subscribe now, the network will disappear. You cannot browse anything, you cannot use your network to do anything again. So it has not been good, I beg. Let me be specific. Glo, when you try to contact them, to no avail. It's just Airtel that normally sometimes try to listen to you, but Glo, you have to go online. And okay, let me say you just bought a data now, like it did the 100 naira sub, and they just like the data just disappeared, and you want to contact them, you have to go online. What if you don't have data to go online now? There's no data on your phone now, so you have to go online and chat them before they start replying you. So I think Airtel tries to communicate with their customers more than Glo. So they should try and provide a service that, like, they should try and make their customer service more good and more sufficient so that customers can interact with them.
About MTN and Airtel, I think the data vanishes like thin air. You subscribe and then before you know it, it's out. When my data finish before time, I feel bad. But then I think there's no need for me to call my network operator because nothing good will come out of it. I think data rates should be reduced.